Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I say guard. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Here goes another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a mother smack addict. Bye-ya, bye-ya, bye. Orderlies, you can tell that thumbnail right there. E, over to C. They're going to have his head up as faster than a rabbit gets. It's all bad in the hood. I guess it's all bad, man. Baeza, we all know who he is. And if you don't know who he is, hey, you'll never know, I guess. He was a rapper out of Fresno, California. A rapper, writer, song, producer. He did all that, right? And was bumping. He had a little buzzing cousin going on a while back. And Menudo started direct fashion. I'm going to tell you what's up with him, what just happened to him, what I think, my perspective on it, and what I think is going to happen. So this individual, Baeza, a while back, man, his music was pumping. Okay, a rapper out of Fresno, California. You know, he hit the scene, and being from Fresno, it seems like Fresno doesn't get a lot of shine when it comes to their musical artists. You know, for one reason or another. It seems like they're putting a caja, they're putting a box, just because they're from the city of Fresno. But this guy was able to overcome that. This guy was able to go up outside of that box and get to bumping and get a buzz. Now, that's the number one thing when you're a rapper you're trying to do, is catch that buzz. You know, if you can ride that buzz and ride that wave thing like Swifty, like so many other rappers, you know, if you can catch that buzz and keep it going, that's the true measure of a good artist. You know, there's a lot of people that catch it and they get their little 15 minutes of fame, or the Kelpie, right? And then it's over. It's over after that. No one hears about him ever again. You see him 20 years later, like, man, whatever happened to that vato? And he's over there working at Wiener Schnitzel, giving you the chili cheese fries, right? It just never materialized, or he's the greeter at Costco. It's always something. But there are people that are able to sustain. They're that talented. They make the right moves. They meet the right people. And, you know, they get a little bit of that knowledge that you can't get in college. And menudo, it's on. Bang, bang. This was not one of them guys. This was a guy who was a one-hit wonder, a flash in the pan, who basically, you know, when he hit the scene, maybe because of his looks or maybe because of the way he carried himself or his shine or just his musical talent, was doing his thing. And I remember hearing about him and kind of tripping, like, who is this cat, Baeza, man? And then figuring out he was from Fresno and saying, okay, is he affiliated with the Perro Chatos or what? For those of you that don't know, refer to the Gunner Handbook. That's Bulldogs, right? And I was wondering who he was. Now, I come to find out after a little extensive walk, looking into his history. He's from an area called Pleasant Street, the north side of Fresno. Now, I done did time about this from Pleasant Street. Shout out K9 and Kilo and several others, right? Chucky and real ones. Real ones know who Chucky is. These vatos from Pleasant Street locals. You know, Pleasant Street, the north side of Fresno, it's always been a well-ingrained barrio in the history of the Bulldogs. I don't know if this guy was a Perro Chato, if he was claiming to be a Bulldog, or if he was embraced with the canalismo of the Bulldogism, but I do know for sure that he is from Pleasant Street, and that was his area where he rocked out of and he represented. Now, time passes. Time passes, and just like every other rapper, man, that comes on the scene and does their thing for a while, you kind of forget about him. Other rappers come and go, and music moves on. Music has a small shelf life unless it's a classic, and then we listen to it over and over again, like Paperboy Do Diddy from Merced, you already know if you want to, right? That's the one. But when it comes to other vatos that are just, they're all right, but they're not great. We hear them, we listen to them. Maybe that summer, it's the song rocking through the airwaves, and then it ain't nothing like them summer nights. It's gone. Okay, now, this guy Baeza kind of disappeared off the map, and there's people that wonder, you know, they wonder where these vatos are at. Well, it's of my understanding he decided to wiggle to Arizona. Now, he goes to Arizona because he has a baby's mother, a girl there, and they end up having a child. And just like any other relationship, you know, there's going to be ups and downs and twists and turns and lefts and rights. And so scared, I don't even know what. Guard, can you explain it? In fact, don't. This is my thing, right? You know, it's a relationship. And just because he was some rapper at one time that had a buzz or was doing his thing, doesn't mean he has the bread. You know, I'm sure he's getting a few royalties, unless if he took a good deal. But he wasn't breaded like that. He was, you know, he had just enough bread to get ahead. But I'm sure he didn't have it like that. Now, he was a producer and a songwriter of his own music, so you get a few more credits, you get a little bit more money. But I don't know. Anyways, so I hop on the other day to the Fool community. Shout out to the Fool community, right? They like to put out a lot of things about people. I don't even know if I've been on the Fool community. Not quite yet. Gracias, right? I'm sure I will one day. But they like to put a lot out there. This is kind of like the Mexicano TMZ. You know, and I appreciate them because they give me a lot of content. They give me a lot of things to look into. They made me work a lot, put it like that. But they're always ahead of their time in dropping the knowledge that you can't get in college very, very quick, right? First. So anyways, I see this on the full community that this guy was locked up. This guy got incarcerated for an unsavory case, for a bad case, right? He did something that he was not supposed to do, gente. Pensa la tira. Allegedly. He's accused of it, okay? One thing I will explain to you, and I say on my channel, is just because someone gets incarcerated for a certain act or a certain thing doesn't automatically make them guilty, right? Once they go through the trial process, the court process, they take a deal, whatever the case may be, boop, 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 then my antennas start flying, and I will tell you guys exactly what time it is. Having done time through the system for many, many years, since a young child from a young buck to a knee high to a what happened, hums to the beast fly, right? I've did my thing, so I can always tell you exactly what happens. This guy got incarcerated for some very unsavory charges, and all you have to do is look it up on full community. But I'm gonna explain to you, right? It's just the wind's blowing, right? In the manual to stop. He got them choma charges, right? So what had happened was, and we're gonna look at it from every different angle, gente. You know, not that it really matters. People are like, who cares about this rapper? Well, some do, you know. So we're gonna put it out there. It's kind of big on the community, because he's. At the end of the day, he is brown. He's a raza, and he was semi-famous. So that this individual, what happens is, he's up there in Arizona doing his thing with his familia, and him and his old lady get into some type of conflict. I don't know what words were said, why. You know, maybe he got caught at the club pinching another girl's butt. I don't know. At the end of the day, that's their business behind closed doors. Husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be, whatever they do, they does. Because as long as you don't put hands on her in front of everyone in here, or even behind the scenes, no one will know, will they, right? It's on you what you do, but that's not, you know, appreciated as a man. So anyways, he's kicking back and they get in an argument or whatever. He gets incarcerated for it. So obviously the authorities felt it was enough to lock him up. Okay, so he gets locked up for it. Again, I don't know the reasoning why he got locked up, but usually I know in the state of California, when the placas come and they're called to a domestic situation, one of you guys is gonna go. That guy, I don't care who it is, turn around. You know what I mean? It's the guy or the girl. The placas don't care either. Somebody must go. Somebody must vacate the premises to basically end this situation. And a domestic situation is one of the most vicious and violent situations because love, passion, I don't care what they say about me. People are all in their feelings, right? People are down there trying to sing Commodore songs. It's easy like Sunday morning. Charles, no more Sunday mornings for you. Leroy's over there getting Sunday morning cat, right? So you ain't got nothing coming. It's over. Just go with that big old torta that you were kicking it with that was making you pound cakes over there, or you were pounding her cakes. I don't know. At the end of the day, see you later. Your old lady is now with DeAndre. And that's it. Period. She's getting that JT, the bigger figure. And that's it. Period. Anyways, so this guy gets locked up, Baeza. And I think that's how you say it, Baeza, whatever the hell. I don't care. He's up there, Baeza. He's making rap songs and doing weird stuff, and he's going to continue to do weird stuff if we allow him to do weird stuff. And we're not. That's why we're putting it out there. So, if he did it. So, anyways, this guy, he gets locked up, does a few days, gets out. Now, he gets out, goes back to the pad. I don't know if him and his old lady make up or whatever the case may be. But a few days later, which is a few days ago, he's getting incarcerated and locked up for these charges, man. Saying that he did something inappropriate with a child less than 10. Okay. Now, it goes into more graphic detail on the full community I cannot put out there. Just based on this is YouTube. We don't get down like this. And at the same time, man, I don't even like to think about stuff like that, right? But this is what's on his plate. Now, according to what has been put out there, he's now sitting in an Arizona jail, facing these heinous charges in a protective custody unit. Of course he's in protective custody, is it? You get them types of charges, you're up out the way. They're putting you way up in the corner. The placas don't like you, the judge don't like you, the district attorney don't like you, I don't like you, and don't none of your fans like you. Nobody likes you, I said, period. And even being accused of those type of charges is a little, you know, it makes you feel sticky. You know what I mean? That's why you have to get up out under that. When people start saying weird things about you, it's like, come on, bro, let that go, you know? Two things could have happened. Either he's a sicko, and his old lady discovered it, and that's why they were arguing the first time. She threw him out. He came back. No, it wasn't me. And that's how I know you see me in the bedroom. It wasn't me even right by the playroom. It wasn't me even there watching the Duval. No, it was you, right? You're busted. Get up out of here, weirdo. And that's what it is. And maybe that was what the fight was about. He got incarcerated, like I said, he got out, and then these charges pressed up. She went to talk to the DA, whoever she talked to, and they charged him with this. Now, or hell has no fury, like a woman scorned, or this woman decided the only way to get him or get rid of him, or is to fabricate some charges and put it on his plate. That's why I'm saying, it's an allegedly. You just never know, gente, exactly what's going on in a domestic issue. People and women and men and everybody says everything. They say anything at the heat of the moment when they're mad. And then later on when they go to try to take it back, it's too late. It's too late. You done already said it. Now this guy's all over the full community like this. All looking all sad with tears in his eyes and a pee on his face. And guess what? He's pee-pee down his ankles. Because either he did it or he didn't. That's on my back. It's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm going to get some fat out today. Orale, cookies. And that's just what it is. So I don't know exactly if this guy really did this. Now, of course, they got him in protective custody. And that's most states. Now, there are some places where they don't care what your charges are. They're going to throw you to the wolves. And they're going to huff and puff and blow your peapod down. And that's on you. You know what I mean? If you roll that way. But what I do know for sure is this guy is in a protective custody unit. If you look up on his booking sheet where he is classified, where he's housed, that's where he's at. And that's normal. That's normal. But to go there, to allow yourself to say, okay, this is the unit I'm going to be in amongst these types of characters who are guilty. Most of them are guilty of these type of charges. Well, what does that do to you, gente? What does that tarnish or blemish your career or what people think about you? When you go into a jail setting or a prison setting, they're going to place you where they place you. It's up to you to get off where you're mad at. Now, let me tell you something about me. Okay? Let me tell you something about me. Never been a... Look at it. If they place me somewhere where I feel I don't want to be, I'm getting off where I'm mad at until they eventually place me where I want to go. And that's the rules and the regulations of things. Even now, being non-active as a norteño, and I know they're going to try to throw me places. If I was to get incarcerated, they would try to throw me places I don't want to be, just based on my custody status and what they think and how they feel. And if I don't want to be there, I said, if I think there's some riffraff and some tomfoolery going on, word of the day, tomfoolery, right? If I think there's a lot of pleito going on around here, I'm getting off. Pensa, put me in the hoyo. I'd rather do my time in the caja. I'd rather do my time in administrative segregation with a solid name to myself. Whether you think of what you think about me or not, I don't give a damn. What I know for sure is what I think about myself, and I have too much self-respect and morals and standards within myself to be placed right here next to someone that does bad things to children, heinous things to women. It's not me. It's not for me, okay? Even now, period. And that's the way it is. But you don't dictate where you're going in the beginning. They're going to throw you where they throw you. In fact, if you tell them where to throw you, then that's some type of PC stuff. Hey, I don't want to go there because I know if I go there, I'm going to find you rubbing on your culo. I don't care, you know what I mean? I don't care what they say about me. I don't care what they say. Guard, we do. People care. But if you go there and you continue to get off and handle your business to eventually they segregate you and put you in an oil like, man, this guy's too much paperwork. Leave him over there in the oil. Let him just do his own time. Well, what does that say about your character? That shows two things. One thing, you ain't playing. You about that action. And two, maybe this guy didn't do this stuff. He doesn't want to be around those type of characters. Maybe he just didn't. But when you go there and you sit down and you're playing pinochle con un vato that's bald with hair and he looks like Krusty the Clown, talking about, I thought he was 17. No, there's another guy over there. I didn't do it. Nah, I'm cool, bro. Pensa, andate, I don't care how many sopas they give you. You're in the wrong place at the right time, I guess, right? That only looks bad on your character. Now, if you've never been incarcerated and no one's ever laced you up and educated you enough to know the get down, well, I can understand you maybe slipping up for a day or two until someone gets there like, hey, Pensa, homie, let's get off where we're mad at. And then you're gone. You can get passes in certain situations, but this vato having the tattoos of a P on his face, bleeding from Pleasant Street, Perro Chatos in the area, a well-known hood in Fresno, he's got to be gamed up. He's got to be laced up. There's no choice. Now, I don't know if he was just a singer and a rapper and he was always in the studio and he didn't pay no attention to the politics and the things that were going around him on the guys, but at the end of the day, homeboy, get with the programa again. Stop trying to look gangster and be gangster. Do you feel? I'm not trying to promote being a bad guy. I'm just trying to say, man, use some street and common sense, period. But this guy is locked up. He's sitting in a protected custody unit. And he's dwelling in that lab figure, JT 24/7, and he's figuring out what he's going to do with his life. Now, it's all going to play out how it plays out. I'm sure the full community will have us updated regularly. But this is what happens. You know, your favorite rapper's favorite rapper could be a clapper. You just don't know. You know, you think you know someone through their music, or you think, oh, he's got a few tattoos, he must be that one, he's with that business. But on the late night, he's doing some weird stuff, man. It's his own children. You just never know, does one. You know, the wind blows differently in people's homes. So it's up to us as Raza people, sprinkle the woods in, brother. Say it with your chest, no problem. It's up to us to be able to see it for what it is, man. Don't judge a man. Don't be quick to bash a man. Don't be quick to ridicule a man without really knowing what's going on. But be aware of that man. You know, give me 5 feet. I said, I didn't do it, gun. Give me 5 feet, I said. Guard. If you got to take him, you got to take him. I need 5 feet. Because until we figure out exactly what it is you did or didn't do, you still have these charges on your jacket. And it's just not a good look. Now, it's different if it's the he said, she said. If someone just says, hey, this guy's a weirdo, man, don't mess with him because I don't like him. Oh, yeah, get out of here. Go teleport over there. But if there's really charges that have went to the degree of getting the authorities involved, you're getting incarcerated, locked up, put on protective custody units, there's a little bit more info there they know than we don't. In the court papers, in the documentation, it's all going to come out, gente. And then we're going to figure it out. But from what we're being told and from what's being said right now, this vato's in there for a bad case. Unfortunate. Now, this has no reflection on the Pedro Chatos and the vatos from Pleasant Street. No bad reflection. You can't. That's getting basura everywhere. It's not like they knew. You know what I mean? But what you reap, you sow. When the vato was out there going, hip hop hooray, ho, hey, I'm a ho. When he was out there bumping, everyone's like, yeah, that's the homie, man, from the area. That's the homie. Hey, did you hear you got caught up being a chomo? Nah, he ain't from my area. Man, I didn't even like his music. Yeah, I remember in the club one time, a big old torta tried to bite me. That's the only thing I remember about that song. She said, this is our song. I said, maybe that's your song, but this is my song. I'm saying, get away from me. Like I said, when it's good, huh? But when it's all bad, it's very bad. And that's life. You know, what you have to do is be a man. Be more man than him. And admit to yourself, hey, man, Spencer, you know, I don't know what's really going on with that. I'm going to stay up out his business. But at the end of the day, man, I hope it all works out for him. And if it doesn't, and he really did what he shouldn't have done, well, then I hope they work up in him. And that's it. Period. Plain and simple. Anyways, that's just my update on Baeza, what I think about his situation, where he would go. Now, of course, if he does catch this case and if he does get found guilty or whatever, literally this vato is going to go probably to a protective custody unit his whole life. Or for a long time. I don't know how much they give these type of individuals. You know, I don't want to speak on it too much and get too ingrained in the details. But Arizona, they got different types of laws. So I'm sure he's going to sit down for a minute. And if he does, that's it. C'est la vie. Bonsoir. However they say it. Verga. You know what I mean? Or how do they all say it? Shoot the moon. Shoot the moon. You're out of here, buddy. And who cares? You know what I mean? Your music will be eradicated like R. Kelly's and SPM's over there in the corner, keeping that on the down low. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. I hope that you get every single thing that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about struggling and striving for our familia, for our children. How could you do that, you despicable human, to your child? To our children, our kids. Okay? That's what we do this for. That's what my kid right now, she's waiting on cereal. I got to hurry up and go do that. Right? But that's what I'm saying. Kids, one time for your mind. Do it for your familia. With that being said, I hope that you guys like this, man. Hit that like and subscribe with a thumbs up one time for your mentality. If not, you can hit me with that thumbs down. I said the head is going to be the head. That wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I honestly, really, and truly believe in. And that's moral standards coming together of people, the Woods brother, the Asians, Mao Lao, and all the real homies that come mess with the gun every day, man, because I'm going to continuously drop the heat, the fire, the bangers, the content. You know what it is. I got the spectacular vernacular that I keep them going, ooh, man. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It's the gun, man. One time for your mentality. Let's do it to it. Baeza, you really disappoint me. I said, I hope you didn't do that. But if you did it, get up out of here. Bang, bang.